Welcome, race fans, back to Daytona International Speedway. We were here just 2 nights ago for the duels, but tonight we race for a special occasion here in the Elite Racing Leagues. Welcome to the Alexander Nedd Fundraiser race. Driving Xfinity cars here around Daytona International. Those of you who aren't already familiar with the situation, Alex Nedd is one of our commentators here at the Elite Racing Network. He's been working with myself as well as Dave Huckleberry in the Cup Series, calling races over the past few seasons. Unfortunately, on July 16th, Alex experienced an episode and was admitted into the hospital. An MRI revealed that he had 2 abnormalities in his brain, causing significant impairments. He is still in hospital, and we are all coming together as a community here in the Elite Racing League and at the Elite Racing Network, as well as outside in the NASCAR world, to help his family with funding for his road to recovery. There will be a GoFundMe link that will be shown at the bottom of your guys' screen throughout the race tonight. We highly encourage people to donate. They are so close to reaching that goal of $20,000 raised through 230 donors already so far. So every dollar helps, and tonight the dollars that have gone into this race will help as well, because drivers to enter tonight's race have submitted a $5 entry fee, so over $100 raised already, plus a prize fund available thanks to our own Dave Huckleberry, as well as Kicking the Tire media outlet there as well, matching that prize fund. We'll talk about this starting grid here, and this is a great chance for myself to bring in Dave Huckleberry, who will be joining me in the booth tonight, just as it was 2 nights ago. And Dave, obviously we miss Alex here at the Elite Racing Network, but hopefully we're going to get a great race tonight in his honor, and one that Alex would be proud to have named after him, and in the respect that he'd love calling a race like this. And I think these Xfinity cars have raced really well in practice, but I'm curious to see what your expectations are for once this race kicks off.
Yeah, from seeing them in practice, they were running in packs and getting pretty wild. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. When you have these fundraiser races and there's no points on the line, somebody gets a little bit more aggressive. But you're right, Alex would want us to have fun. So we're going to try to have a good time tonight and have some laughs and hopefully raise some money for our good buddy.
Absolutely. And with that, then, again, you guys will see the graphic appear once the race begins. But walking through that starting grid, you saw Scott Crump on the pole. Will lead this field down to green ahead of Johnny Thomas, Michael Armstrong, Joshua Personette, and Wyatt Knadel making up your top 5. The field is heading around turn 3 and 4 right now, as you see the rest of that starting grid.
And I think Scott Crump took an end of line.
Oh, he did. Yep. Great
voluntarily
update there. So Crump will start from the back of the pack then. That means Armstrong will take over the restart. And we do have Geico restart zones back in play here in iRacing. So as the pace car peels off, you're going to see that Geico restart zone now on the right-hand side of your screen. They're going to accelerate, and we are underway for 50 laps here in the Alexander Nedd Fundraiser event. Johnny Thomas with a strong start on the outside, going to try to work his way around Michael Armstrong. We'll see the power of that top line. In the next-gen Cup cars, the top line really seemed to be preferred for the majority of the race, but you could still race side by side. Meanwhile, Armstrong into the sucker hole basically immediately. And now Wyatt Knadel leads that inside line down with Dustin Dewar pushing him along onto the back straightaway. It's advantage to the inside as the car drops down to the bottom. That's going to be Seth Egbert. He's already had enough. He's going to try and roll to the back and hopes for a chance to roll forward later in this event.
Kind of surprising we were 3 wide on the first lap there. That was kind of, I thought everybody would settle in a little bit, but nope, we're going to go 3 wide every lap, I think.
Yeah, for sure. There's everything. There's a $100 prize fund at the end for the race, or like say $150 prize fund. $100 of those $150 go to the race winner. So certainly a lot to play for. And I do know a couple of drivers have already made it clear that if they do come out victorious tonight, those funds are going directly back to the Alexander Nedd GoFundMe that you see there on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And of course, we have Alex riding with us here for the entire event tonight. Wyatt Knadel still continues to lead with that push from Dustin Dewar. Dewar's been fantastic so far this week at the Daytona International Speedway. Looked strong in his duels as well. But right now, these guys defending from that outside lane, and even 25 car, David Kreisky, trying to make that 3 wide work, but I think that's not quite going to work out for him because he has no support behind, and he's going to have to settle back in line on the outside. But we're still 2x2 racing here, and great racing up front here as Johnny Thomas tries again to get by Wyatt Knadel as timing and scoring on both mine and Dave's screens go through a bit of a fun little shift there, and they're back to normal now.
I thought they were taking shortcuts through the infield there. Somebody was taking the road course.
Oh, man, love to see it. There's always going to be technical glitches at the start of a season, but how about Gerald Campbell there in the number 4 car, another one of our Elite Racing Network buddies there, one of our co-workers, running up in the 3rd position right now, 2nd car in that outside lane, that yellow 31 car, and right on board with Campbell now. This is, again, what it looks like, and we talked about this if you guys tuned into the duels 2 nights ago, is the visibility when you're running at Daytona in the pack is next to nothing, and this is the same for Talladega as well, but these plate tracks is you really can't see, 3 cars in front of you. You can peek your nose out here, but you've got to be really careful. That could have been actually really bad there if Campbell had moved back just a moment later to hit Johnny Thomas in front of him, but yeah, I mean, there's very little visibility when you're in line with other drivers as Campbell now suddenly goes out of line, and he's all on his own on the outside. He's going to drop back to the back of this outside lane pretty quickly.
Yeah, once you're left out there all by yourself, you kind of just slide on back.
You really do. So Wyatt Knadel continues to lead, and I believe he's led every lap so far. So strong start there by the 84 car. Dustin Dewar continues to stay basically hooked up to the back bumper of that 84 car, but now he's going to split to the outside, going to try to defend on that outside lane, but now is Dewar going to get caught in that sucker hole, and he's going to go towards the back of the pack, and he's already allowed Trevor Elam in that 29 car on the inside to go by.
Oh,
excuse me,
caution.
no, Trevor Elam on the bottom. They're out. They're all over the place there. Tons of cars involved in that one, and lost track of who that was that actually ended up starting it, but that might have been man, who was that? That might have been the 84 actually. As he's a little ways further back and down on the grass. We'll watch the Whiskey Cast replay here, and just as things have already kind of taken off, we'll watch that. I think it is the 80. No, it's the 32.
84 into the 32, up into Tooker, the 19. And all but 2 cars is probably going to be involved in this. Everybody else was behind it.
That's a wild ride there for Matthew Weeks as well. But yeah, lots of drivers involved in that one in terms of guys who escaped. I think you're right. Johnny Thomas, Trevor Elam, Alex Van de Sant, trying to see as we watch this replay from Robert Hill Jr.'s onboard, could be very intriguing to watch here.
See why Robert didn't get out of the way. He ends up backwards, so we'll see how he gets backwards.
Oh, he just got hit from behind. He did a good job checking up, actually. I think just behind him, they, the visibility's pretty tough, and I guess somebody just didn't react fast enough. Some guys were able to avoid damage. You see there, that was the 54 car.
93.
Yeah, a couple of guys made it out without too many issues, which is good to see. But yeah, quite a few hitting pit road for damage repair. About 5 or so of those guys on pit road. Everybody else staying out, though, for the time being, whether or not there's damage on those cars. So something to keep an eye out for as well, as if those guys are going to have a tough time leading the pack, or if they think they're relatively okay.
We did not do fast repairs, even though this is a fun race. We did not do fast repairs. Chad, who's our admin tonight, said you got to behave. So they did for 5 laps.
I think if we do fast repair races, they're those don't always end too well, I think. As we do now have our leaders on pit road, so that might have been pit road was closed the first time by, and everybody is coming down. And this is a similar strategy, basically on the exact same lap that we saw in the second of our duels on Wednesday night, isn't it, Dave? Lap 7 coming down, grabbing tires and fuel, and maybe if we stay green the rest of the way, making it all the way to the end. We saw how that played out. It was a fantastic finish where the guys who had to pit for fuel caught up and just missed out on the win by about 0.02 of a second was the difference in those two strategies by the end. So it's a viable strategy. I don't know what the fuel efficiency is like on these Xfinity cars versus the standard Cup cars, but this could be very intriguing in terms of strategy race now if we stay green.
This is playing out exactly like one of our duels, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of cars taking some repair time there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I think about 11 cars got normal service. Let's take a look. No, even less than that. I think 10 cars got. No, let's say 9 cars got normal service as they keep digging that number. Yeah, about 9 or 10 cars maybe got normal service. The rest of them in for damage repairs, and we've got 17th on back still in. So that's Wyatt Canadle, Robert Hill Jr., Ray Bracey, David Tooker, Michael Armstrong, Dustin Dewar, David Kriske, and Cole Snyder all on pit road right now. We did also have Matthew Weeks with extended repairs. We had Seth Egbert with extended repairs, Zach Evans, Cash James, as well as Joshua Personat, all with extended repairs. Will note, I believe, Scott Crump took fuel only, as well as Brandon Key, while everybody else who pitted came down and got a full service. So we'll keep an eye out on that as well. Wonder if Crump and Key are thinking either they will have to pit later in this race, or that it just wasn't worth taking tires at this point, and that track position might be more important.
A few more cars coming back in for more service. Looks like some of those are the damaged cars coming back in for some more repair, maybe trying to stay on the lap.
Yep. Yeah, spot on there. Josh Personat, Gerald Campbell, Zach Evan, Cash James, all hitting pit road once again. And yeah, goal there is just stay on the lead lap, get your repairs done. The car still runs. You can stay out under green flag racing conditions. You just want to be fast enough that you can't lose the draft, because the second you lose that draft, you probably drop about 4 to 5 seconds per lap in terms of just straight up pace.
Like somebody's taking a voluntary EOL there.
Yeah, who was that? That is...
I think it's Jerry Jordan.
Looks like it, yeah.
He was P2, but then he asked for a voluntary in EOL.
Alrighty. So Jerry Jordan deciding to start at the back here for this restart, as the cars are doubled up and ready to go for that restart. Johnny Thomas once again leads the way. Brandon Key now on the outside. Trevor Elam, second car on the inside row, and Trey Eidson on the outside row behind Brandon Key. We'll see now what this looks like, but not a lot of cars lining up on the outside here. Not too sure what this situation is, if this is just a ton of EOLs, and they just have to stay on the inside, but that's really going to hurt these guys running on the outside lane, because they're just not going to have the same numbers to compete. And already you can see 2 cars in front of Brandon Key on the outside. You might even get there that third car of the 97 there of Alex Van de Sant ahead, and they will. So that top side, really not great start for them, as now they're going to try and gain some momentum back, but it's still Key and Eidson on the outside lane. Basically just those guys, and Doug Denise finally joins them up top, and now there's 3 cars driving on that top lane. 4 cars maybe just on that passing shot. Yeah, we have another driver joining in there, Matthew Weeks as well. Look out for him. Honestly, I'd follow that 11 car, because wherever he goes on the racetrack, he can make forward momentum at a track like this. That 11 car is always moving forward. He's always in contention to win at a track like this, so keep an eye out for him. He's not one of those guys that you're going to want to lose track of during a race like this. Inside of Doug Denise then decides to swap lanes. He now goes 5th in line on the bottom line.
You know that's not what you're supposed to call him. I said we were supposed to call that not Fody. That's not Fody.
I will say, yeah, the black and blue number 40 car, that is not Fody out there. So sorry, Doug, that is your new name for the rest of the night. So not Tyler Fody then. Right now 4th in line on the outside, but as the 26 car goes up high, gets back in line though. I was going to say he might lose out there on that top lane, but there you go, not Fody now down to the bottom lane, and is going to kind of just continue to add to the numbers that this bottom lane has right now, just continue to add to the advantage that they have right now, as Brandon Key gets caught in the middle there, and he's going to drop a number of positions, as now it is, who is that, Matthew Weeks leading the way on the outside? No, that is Alex, nope, that is Seth Egbert, excuse me. Leading the way on the outside lane.
The 57 car?
Nope, I'm wrong again. Scott Crump. There you go. I'm not used to seeing Scott Crump in a Toyota. Is that new? I feel like that's new. I feel like he's always been a Ford guy.
Could be.
Maybe.
New season, new things. Could be a stolen car.
Xfinity raced in a long time. Yeah, I was gonna say. But either way, it is 2 Toyotas leading that outside lane of Matthew Weeks now ahead of Scott Crump. Again, still have some work to do as they've got 3 of the inside lane cars still in front of them. They've got the 29 of Trevor Elam now joined in line, but again, numbers really are siding with this bottom side right now as Johnny Thomas continues to lead the way here in front of Alexander Van de Sant. Reminder, Johnny Thomas, a Daytona 500 champion here in the Elite Joint APS Cup Series. Did that a couple of seasons ago. Knows how to win on a track like this, knows how to run well at a track like this. He's been in contention for wins here a number of times before. Obviously got that Daytona 500 championship when he did, and he's looking to grab another victory here tonight.
These drivers are just cooling around the track, talking on chat about spicy food right now. So they are just mellowed out and doing their job.
There you go. Even with all that money on the line for these drivers, they're still having fun out there, which is great to see. I was going to say, once we get to the standard league races, they're basically silent unless, you've got incidents going on. I've tried to listen into those, and basically you have people calling each other morons when the yellow flag comes out, but then not much talking outside of those. As we kind of have a swap in the lanes here as the 11 and 90 go to the bottom. That leaves an opening up top for Trevor Elam, who will take advantage and lead this lap here. Lap 14 now, or lap 13 complete. We're starting lap 14. Brandon Key back on that outside lane, leading the way as Trevor Elam dives towards the bottom. We'll see if Key, as well as the 38 car there of Joshua Personette. Yep, that is Personette. Are able to stay with the pack, but Personette now dives to the bottom. Scott Crump tries to go up top, takes over that, and all the swapping going on here on this back straightaway as guys are just shuffling, trying to find an advantage over each other, but also you can tell not too aggressive with any of the blocks or any of the moves right now. Obviously very early on in this race, but expect those to get just a little bit tighter and tighter as the race plays out. But right now, with still over 30 laps to go, guys right now just pretty happy to ride, I think, even though we're seeing a good amount of swapping.
Scott Crump coming up behind Weeks there and giving him a push on the top lane.
A little bit of a blink there from Crump. Don't want to see too much of that from him tonight, especially at a track like this, and you see how close these guys are running. This is something different that we didn't really see when we were running the Next Gen Cup cars 2 nights ago, is bump drafting. There you kind of ran in a line and you could get close to another guy, but it was really the bubble that was created when guys ran relatively close to each other that caused a lot of that that forward momentum, a lot of that speed. Right here with these Xfinity cars, you can physically hook up. And they're doing so here early on. Lap 16, and you just saw that Scott Crump was right on the bumper of the 11 car. He's pretty close right now through the corners, but I think down this back straightaway, you're probably going to see Crump hook up with the 11. You're going to see maybe the 54, Brandon Key. We've got 3 Toyotas on the outside lane, plus Johnny Thomas following them through as another bit of a blink there from Scott Crump, and there he is. That's what it looks like right there, giving a little bit of a push to Matthew Weeks. He might get 1 or 2 more in there before they get to the corner, and then after that you kind of want to loosen up. You don't really want to be tandem drafting here through the corners. I think that gets a little bit messy once even in these cars.
Yeah, I think on Wednesday, about the only person I remember having contact with the bump drafting, Chris Wright and Tyler Fody were able to hook up. But other than that, you're right, they would keep that little air bubble as pushing each other.
Yeah, so interesting to know just the different aerodynamic packages of the car and how they race. But in a pack, I mean, virtually the same pace. We were looking at it during practice, and these guys are running kind of mid-46s on a fast lap in the draft. Same thing as the Cup cars, more or less. If you put in a strong lap, they're utilizing the draft as much as possible. So yeah, not really much to give there, but a lot less, I think, aerodynamic grip coming from these cars. It's a lot more just based off of the trimmed out and lots of horsepower. I think on these Xfinity cars, I'm pretty sure they run higher horsepower than the Cup at super speedways, but I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah, I think so. They told the lap car to go down the middle for fun, but the lap car decided not to do that.
Oh man, yeah, there you go. There's the difference in a fun race again versus a standard league event that we're gonna have, right? I think if a lapped car might have done that in a regular race, he probably would have gotten a one race ban.
Yeah. He did quickly decline. No, thank you.
I think for self-preservation as well, but yeah, we continue to see here this outside lane just not really being able to form. Right now, Scott Crump, Matthew Weeks doing a good job at holding on. And actually, excuse me, it's Scott Crump and Brandon Key on the outside as Weeks has dropped down to the top. You also have Alexander Van de Sant trying to join in on that top lane, but 3 cars is really not going to be able to compete or at least pass kind of this top lane of 4, 5, 6 cars once they're hooked up. But a little bit of separation gave Scott Crump a look, but he was still about a car length and a half behind the nose of the 11 car. And now there you go. The 29 of Elam goes up to block that. So when they do have a run, which they do now on the outside, is something crazy is going on there with the 90 and the 54. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's some legal kind of bump drafting there, but
Yeah, he said said Crump, I'm inside your car.
yeah, that was something to witness. As Scott Crump starts to kind of fade back a little bit, we'll see what the admin call is on that 90 car, because there's again, when you're racing this close, the last thing you need is a guy with a not so great internet connection to potentially make matters worse. But the fact that they didn't crash there is pretty impressive when the 54 and 90 were virtually the same car.
Van de Zandt's kind of sliding high there and getting back in the pack a little bit. He always runs high line in everything he runs.
He really does. Van de Zandt's kind of the guy who's just going to explore every racing line. And it's not just during practice, it's literally during the race. He's just going to be like, hey, I wonder if I try a high line here. I wonder if I just try something different to what everybody else is doing. And sometimes it works out really well for that 97 car, and we've seen it on occasion where it does not. So we'll see right now. But Van de Zandt likes running up high. He likes running near the wall. We're not quite at that phase, in the race where you're running all the way up along that outside wall. But I'm sure Van de Zandt would love it once we get to that point.
Is this the kind of race where you get an advantage on tire wear being in the inside or outside lane? Or is it about negligible?
I would imagine it's negligible, but I really don't know enough about, especially, man, it's been a long time since I've strapped into any of these cars in the sim ring as a driver, so it's tough to say after all the updates that have happened. It's probably been almost a year now since I last drove on iRacing, and before I would say it was virtually no difference. I think if you got a late race pit stop, there might have been the advantage of taking tires just in terms of your launch might be slightly better. You don't have as much wheel spin. But around a track like this, I can't imagine tires meaning that much. They did in the Cup cars, so something to think about. But I'd be surprised if they mean much here in the Xfinity cars, since I know these are probably still fairly similar to how the models were before.
That's like the third time that Trevor Elam will slide up in front of Crump as he starts to make that run on the outside lane.
3 wide here through the corner. Crump in the middle, as he has an opening to go to the bottom, but declines to take it. Matthew Weeks now at his quarter panel actually lifts and gives Crump a spot to go in there. So now it's Elam, Crump, and Weeks on the bottom lane, and Brandon Key all alone on the top, but holding strong as Johnny Thomas is about to come and maybe give him a big bump forward, but they already get to the corner there, so maybe he's going to stymie that forward momentum. But Brandon Key holding on strong alongside Matthew Weeks. He's been committed to that outside lane. I will say that for Brandon Key. He's dropped down to the bottom a couple of times when it's been pretty clear that hasn't been working, but he's usually the first guy to go up there and try to make this outside line work.
Can you imagine flying this drone to try to get this shot?
I was gonna say, great view here. Shout out to the iRacing drone pilot. Man, he's doing a hell of a job as Scott Crump now drives to the lead there, grabs the pace that the 54 and 83 were getting, and then heads right back to the bottom. So this is kind of the shuffle you see. Guys will go to that top line when they think it has has momentum, take over, and they go right back to the bottom where I think everybody's just most comfortable right now in these cars. Brandon Key doing everything he can to hold on, and I will say, very impressive job right now by Johnny Thomas and Brandon Key to be holding on. And I think this is really the advantage that we're seeing, is they can stay hooked up for a larger chunk of the lap than guys who are running in the pack, because there's always going to be checkups when you've got 3-4 guys nose to tail. Meanwhile, on the outside, if it's just the 54 and 83, they know that you kind of know you can stay hooked up basically the entire way around. You're probably going to see here through the tri-oval, Johnny Thomas is basically right on the bumper of that 54 car.
What I like about this view is when you look at it from the side, you can't really tell how much lateral motion there is from the cars. It's not as easy. Here you can see how they really they bob in and out to get that air, a little bit of air here, there, and they really have to be working it through the corners. It's a good view.
I was going to say, that's one of the things I've always remembered from my first experience when I came out to do plate racing. It was my very first race in a stock car. And this was a number of years back now, but yeah, very first race in an iRacing stock car, and showed up, and I was just thinking the entire time, like, how the hell do you guys hold in a line for 200 laps? Like, because you'd get close to another driver, and your instincts to pull out, or you'd get hit by another driver, and you're steering this thing constantly, and you can watch here the hands of Scott Crump. And it doesn't look like much from the screen, but this constant adjustment, you're always having to think about what you're doing with the car, always having to adjust the line because everything matters. So you're making probably 10, 15 adjustments through 1 and 2 alone, and you're doing that every single lap. It's ridiculous. And then you're still making adjustments down the back straightaway. You can see those little motions that Scott Crump is making, and he's darting back and forth left and right. Whether it's to grab air or whether it's just, again, hanging onto the car doesn't like to stay in a straight line. That's the biggest thing. And I think you talk to NASCAR drivers in real life. I forget who said this, because I've heard this a number of times, is these cars don't like going straight. So you take them on a straight, and you're still fighting them on the straights.
25 laps to go. You know what Alex would be asking you, right?
Absolutely. Picking a driver here, and I don't feel bad about picking one here. With any kind of commentator's curse, because there's no points on the line or anything like that. There's no glory on the line in the sense of the regular season standings. So I really don't feel bad about trying to curse somebody. I am probably going to pick here Matthew Weeks. I always love him at super speedways. He always looks strong. Right now, running in the 6th position, a little bit further back, but he's been strong. He's been up front the entire race long. There's a lot of good guys though. But I'm always willing to bet on that 11 car.
I'm going to take Trevor Elam. I think after we interviewed him last night, I think he's pretty fired up for these Daytona races, and I think he's going to give it a shot here. Shout out to Zach Evans. Look, he's in the top 10. Number 6 car back there.
Yeah, that's awesome to see there for Zach Evans. Running inside that top 10, right behind Joshua Personette in that 38 car. And Zach, we'll see if he can continue to move forward. He could be one of those guys we've only just passed halfway distance. There are a number of guys who like to just hang out around the back for the early parts of the race and make their move forward, as that's the 05 car going down another lap. But yeah, we could see even that 6 car moving forward, maybe taking a chance on an outside lane or just trying to get into the mix a little bit here. But yeah, we've got this outside line trying to work forward. They don't have Brandon Key anymore. He's gone back down to the bottom. So it's Alexander Van de Sant leading Cash James, leading Mark Revilis, all on the top lane. And right now they're just struggling to get hooked up the same way that bottom is.
And I know he didn't start the race and he's not even in the race, but you can't count Tate Lytle out. He can really just come back from anywhere.
He really can. Going to see him. I honestly, everywhere except for Daytona. I will say Tate Lytle and Daytona are, it's almost comedic at this point, I think. Oh, man. It's, I swear to God, if Tate goes out and wins the 500 next week, I will be stunned. Genuinely stunned. Not because he's a bad driver, but he hates these tracks. He'd much prefer doing, 500 laps at Bristol. I think he'd take that any day over doing a Daytona 500. I would be the opposite. No way in hell I'm doing 500 laps at Bristol. No.
It's like a constant turn.
I was going to say, I don't know what's worse, calling a Bristol 500 lap race or racing a Bristol 500 lap race. Fortunately, I don't think we have one of those again this season. I think we do them every other season, so I think we're spared up here in the booth for that one. But yeah.
Did I see that we're going to be racing Cup cars at Monza?
I think you did, and I saw that as well. And
are we using the big oval
for disaster? No, I think we're
that'll
using
be wild.
That chicane in turn
okay.
one, which is going to be. The oval would be something, don't get me wrong, but I think the oval actually turns left, doesn't it? Or, sorry, the oval turns right. I think it's like it's a clockwise oval, which I think would be really intriguing to see how a Cup car would drive around that. But I think we're just doing the standard road course, which I think will provide its own entertainment value.
Oh, sure.
For sure. Trying to see, 40 cars braking for turn one. Oh man, just the thought of that is that race is going to be something. Looking forward to that. That's going to be Wednesday nights. Make sure you guys are tuning in. We've got racing all week long, really. The Friday night slot is going to be filled with IndyCar racing starting next week. Then we've got Sunday night racing. We start with Formula One every other week, more or less, I think, but it's a little bit of a looser schedule than that throughout the year. Season already underway for that, and then the trucks are going to kick off late Sunday nights. Monday nights, we've got Xfinity car racing, and then on Wednesdays, we have Cup.
Yeah, the trucks will be at Daytona on this Sunday. Then the Xfinity cars, Daytona on Monday, and then Cup on Daytona on Wednesday. So it is Speed Week, so really kicking off the new season.
There's nothing like it. It's I always love it when we come back to Daytona, and the fact that we get to do it 4 times a year, 2 times each season is always exhilarating. To have it start and end the regular season, I think it always adds kind of. I know some people don't love it, but I love the unpredictability you get here, and it just kind of, you get some wild cards, to start and end each of the regular seasons. So, we'll, actually, I take that back. We are not running Daytona at the end of the regular season. Well, damn.
Nope, we finish at Nashville Super Speedway, right?
Homestead. Nashville is the championship race, but Homestead ends the regular season.
Oh, regular season, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got Bristol Dirt right back. So we've been spared from Bristol 500, but we have Bristol Dirt, so I don't know how I feel. We also still have the Southern 500, so yeah.
And that November 2nd Chicagoland could turn into a downtown Chicago race if it gets released, right?
Yeah, that could be interesting. Indianapolis has not yet been decided whether we're on the road course or the speedway, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Richmond will be a full-length 200-lap race. Is that right? No. Richmond's not 200 laps normally. No, I think it's more than that. Do we only have 2 full-length races this season? No, we have a Brickyard 400, as well as the Indianapolis road course. Chad. Chad loves his Indianapolis.
Yes, he does. Yeah, so we got October 12th, which would be probably the Brickyard version.
Yep.
And November 9th will be the road course.
Oh, boy. And I think we've got the new road course, though, coming. I think iRacing announced that they're finally updating the IMS road course, which, for me, that's almost enough of a reason to take my rig out of storage and hook it back up, because I would love to drive that track. That is probably my favorite, this current configuration of IMS. Not loved, I think, by many, but I personally love it. The slightly more open chicane towards the end. The early chicane, the very high speed one, I think they did a good job with this track. And they race well there if you ignore the restarts in Cup from the past couple weeks.
When you picked out your new desk that you just bought, did you pick it out so that you could mount a wheel on it?
I did not. I didn't have that in mind because I don't
get your
have
rig,
my
then.
wheel with me. I was going to say, I got one sitting in storage. I just got to go get it. I don't know if my apartment's big enough for it. We'll have to find out. I'm sure I'll be able to fit it somewhere. But yeah, I got to get myself behind the wheel at some point as we continue racing on here. It has been relatively single-filed. We've got a couple of kind of breakouts to the outside lane, but for the most part, guys have settled into a groove. Haven't quite seen much of a drop-off in pace. I mean, guys running 48s right now versus the fastest 46, 47s. So maybe a little bit of fuel save going on throughout the field, but I wonder if we're going to have guys who are in kind of a mega fuel save who are totally off the pace versus guys who are maybe running to expecting to pit here relatively soon. But as it stands right now, nothing, no indication right now of these guys slowing down. But how about Zach Evans? We talked about him breaking into the top 10. Zach Evans just took the lead of this race. That outside lane just came alive, and no!
Oh, Zach's in the air.
Oh.
There's way too many Twitter comments about Zach being flying. And now he goes in the air.
That is Zach, I'm sorry. That was rough. That was brutal, man.
Oh, that's a great replay. That is a great replay.
That is some serious height that 6 car got. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look and see where this all started as well, but there's that hit from the 29 and just pops him straight into the air.
Hold on, I'm having fun with this. I gotta go one more with the in-car.
Oh boy. Just the sudden...
And Zach did announce in the driver chat that they have reinstated the Wally space program, and now that was their first launch.
Excellent.
Let's go back and see.
It's been a little while, but let's see how this broke down and how this all started. Looks like it was Van de Sant, just not a great bump there from the 97 car. And as this was happening, I was looking at this and I was waiting, and I saw Zach Evans, that 6 car, go to the front. I was shouting him out, and then we turned to the next camera, and there's that bad bump. You see Van de Sant just gets hooked on the right rear quarter panel. And there goes that 6 car. Zach Evans in the chat here also saying, "You spin me right around, baby, right around."
That's going to become a TikTok video here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Zach, I'm sorry. You were having a great race, great run up to that point, as well as basically everybody comes down the pit road except for Johnny Thomas, staying out on the racetrack here, deciding to opt for track position. I don't know about that call. Maybe he was hoping that more would come down with him. But right now, that 83 car all on his own. Oh my gosh. Tate Lytle also did that, yeah. Yeah, iRacing, some of the hits at Daytona, I will say this, and no offense, Zach, but that's not the highest I've seen a car go. I've got a picture out there of and I think we've got Zach with us in the lobby as well.
The medical center. We're going to the medical center. Or the space center. Maybe it's the space center.
How's it going, Zach?
Oh, it's great. It's great. Yeah, we went to, we joke about the Wally space program. I went to space at Bristol a couple of seasons ago. Michael Klein had a fun little adventure at IRP last season, but yeah, that was the first one at a plate track, so that was pretty cool.
How high do you think you got there? That looks like maybe a good, 40, 50 feet, maybe even more.
I'm sure you could Google how high the catch fence is at Daytona. I was above it, not by much, but I was above it. So that'd be about the number. I'll do the homework.
All right.
I'll say that's a physics problem right there. You could just figure that all out.
I was gonna say, how much force did you get hit with to get launched to that height?
Right. If a train leaves Dallas at 12:43 and but yeah, that was.
You can calculate the distance you traveled in the air.
I'm gonna come clean, Zach. Basically, the second that happened, I was calling and saying, "Oh my God, Zach Evans just took the lead of this race." Hey, you're having a hell of a run, my guy.
Oh yeah, we were having a good run, and I've had some pretty good. I'm sorry. There we go. I had to mute driver so I could actually listen to what I was saying. Yeah, we had a good run going. I've had some pretty good runs here in Daytona and all the leagues, OSCA and all of that this week. And I feel like I won't say I figured something out, but I've at least feel a little more confident in what I'm doing at these places. And, I just kind of got bored there. I know we still had 15 laps to go, but I was kind of bored riding around. So I was like, let's see what happens if I jump outside. And Alex went with me, and it worked great until it didn't. But, you'll have that.
Well, hopefully we see that same kind of action during the, or maybe not the crash, but the moving forward there for you during the races this week in the league. Looking forward to that. How are you feeling headed into this week?
Well, won't be. I didn't. I'm an open this year in Cup, so didn't do, and couldn't run the duels because I was at North Wilkesboro, so won't be into 500. But started on the grid, so we can share that on the broadcast. That cool video. Trucks. Fairly excited. We've got 6 Wally trucks showing up. We're like Pro Edge, but less good. Actually, pretty bad. So we'll see how that goes for us. And then, of course, Xfinity. I feel really good about that one because I had some good runs at Daytona and Osaka last night, and of course won that Do Good race last week or whatever, and had a good thing going tonight too. So hopefully Monday works out well for us.
All right, well, best of luck in the coming in the upcoming races here. We're back to green flag action. Zach Evans, the first elite racing driver to make it to the moon, so congratulations on that.
Yes.
Best of luck. Back to green flag action here. Scott Crump, Johnny Thomas side by side down this back straightaway as we're back to green flag racing. 11 laps to go in this one. We're getting down to crunch time. Everybody with fresh tires, except for Johnny Thomas. So again, keep an eye out for him. Scott Crump with outsides only on that 90 car. Trey Eidson just behind Johnny Thomas then, or excuse me, just behind Scott Crump on the outside as they have that slight advantage. Wyatt Knadel trying to push Johnny Thomas forward on the inside. So we've got a full-on kind of scrap going on here between these guys. And now don't expect any punches held, I think, because these guys are going to be going at it. 10 laps to go. You're starting to think more and more about, all right, I got to make my move. I got to make it now. Either get to the front of my pack or at least be in a position where I'm ready to move and ditch the guys that I'm with right now. So there you see, Scott Crump dives to the bottom. He's going to defend that lane. He feels like they've got a better opportunity heading into the coming laps. Meanwhile, Eidson's going to lead that outside lane. We'll see, though. They still have good forward momentum, and they're going to try and get by Scott Crump. So was that maybe a bad call by the 90? But in the short term, could it work out in the long term? Right now, Eidson crosses the line just ahead of the 90 car. With him getting pushed along by Matthew Weeks. There's that 11 looking strong as ever, and was basically, I think, pushing that Trey Eidson car all the way up until they got to the corner.
Under 10 to go. Gonna get crazy. I can feel it.
It really is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Was that our last caution flag of the night, or are we going to see maybe one or two more here? I was going to say, if this was a league race, maybe. But yeah, open fundraiser race. There could be some very interesting, especially if you got a blinking car like Scott Crump there up front, leading that second pack or that inside pack that could be challenging. Johnny Thomas had to dive a little bit below the yellow line. That's going to hurt their momentum, and again gives Eidson and Weeks a chance up top. Who else is pushing them along that top line? That's Brandon Key. So those three hooked up, trying to contend with, again, just the sheer numbers that are running on the bottom.
On board with Matthew Weeks as he kind of bobs in and out here behind Eidson.
Yeah, let's see how close he gets. Does he get to actually pushing? Oh, no, he probably won't want to there. Scott Crump dives in front of Eidson. And that's now going to kind of slow down this outside lane, it feels like, because as soon as Crump went back up to the top lane, Johnny Thomas shot back ahead with maybe a big push from Wyatt Knadel. And now this outside lane might get checked up a little bit with that blinking car up front, so they've got to be careful. But Scott Crump doing everything he can right now to defend and just taking full advantage of the pace he's got. The 31 dives to the bottom. He's going to try and make a move on the 90, and he's at the quarter panel of Crump.
Wyatt Knadel kind of moving up to try to get organized in that bottom lane.
Yeah, Personette got maybe a little bit of a bad bump there from Campbell mid-corner. He had to go up high. Campbell drops back, but they all stay in line. Not Fody then is fifth in line on the bottom as well. Look out for that number 40 car. We'll see if he can maybe make some movement as well. He's been kind of hanging around there, edge of the top 10, and been maybe waiting to make that late race move as we now tick over 6 laps to go. Trey Eidson with a solid lead there over that outside lane as they've totally dispersed up top. So Eidson, Thomas, Wyatt Knadel, all in front of Scott Crump, who leads that outside lane.
Brandon Key with kind of a quick lane change back there, right in line. Went from the top lane down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, good catch there. So now it's just those two Toyotas up top being followed by
Oh, he gets him
Personette and
loose.
Campbell. Around goes Eidson, and a bad bump down to the infield. We'll see
He's
if
holding
he
it together.
can hold on to it. Slow it down there onto the grass. They're already crashing though up on the or on the banking.
I don't think he gathered any damage. There's a lot of spin for him.
Yeah, he seems to be okay, but what was the caution afterwards? Might have been because of the checkup. Take a look and see. It was 3 wide heading into the corner, and that's not Fody getting hit by Brandon Key, and around they go.
Robert Hill gets
Catches
off.
Robert Hill as well. So 3-car incident right there. And that was totally separate to the Eidson issue.
Yep.
Wasn't it? It was they're 3 wide into the corner, and you know, they just came together. Take another look at that. You see there, it looks like the 40 just comes down there on the 54 of Brandon Key. You can't really argue. I think Key had nowhere to go. You can see he's already over the yellow line there. 40 car comes down into the corner, and they go around.
So Eidson
now
falls
with
back
that
to
being-
12th, so with no damage. See if he can pull up through there. We have 3 green-white checkers for tonight. You get that information.
Yeah, so 3 green-white checkers. Wonder if we'll use the first one here. We normally have pretty quick cautions at Daytona. I'd imagine we'll like just tick over to it technically being 2 laps to go. So I don't know if that'll use our first green-white checker when we go back to green, because that'll be completing the race in its official distance. Johnny Thomas does make the call.
I was thinking he wasn't going to stay out again.
Yeah. So now he's going to get a little bit of a tire advantage over the rest of the field, as well as just secure himself in terms of fuel to make it to the end of this race if we do see all 3 of those green-white checkers, which there's certainly a chance that we could. Thomas is joined on pit road by Trevor Elam, Cash James, Brandon Key, of course, Doug Denise, or not Tyler Fody, and then drivers involved in the last incident as well. Robert Hill Jr., I think, jumped back to pit road, so he's been on there for a little while. I think the rest of these guys should be coming off pit road, and Thomas is going to rejoin in 10th, so certainly still within striking distance of the front of the field there, 5th in line wherever he lines up.
Run down through the field here. Third place, Alex Van de Zant. Joshua Personette, 4th and 5th.
Seth Egbert is there swapping 4th and 5th there with Joshua Personette, but that you go back to Wyatt Knadel, Gerald Campbell then running in 7th position. Mark Rabilis in the 8th spot, that number 99 car, and then Michael Hossack running 9th. Johnny Thomas, who we saw just pit, running down in 10th. And there's Trey Eidson, who avoided any kind of major wreck there, got spun out just about here on the back straightaway a couple laps ago, back in 11th position. The rest of these guys on pit road, Brandon Key, Trevor Elam, Cash James, and Doug Denise, or not Tyler Fody, all trying to just repair damage from that most recent incident. Trevor Elam, kind of a surprise to see him on pit road, though. Not sure if he got caught up in that as well.
He's kind of been sitting there for a while, too.
Yeah, he has.
It'd be a retirement? Oh, there he goes. Maybe a penalty of some sort.
Potentially, or he might have just nabbed a little bit of damage on that one, but we might have just missed that. But, man. Well, we will go back to green with 2 laps to go. I don't believe, actually I can check, this counts as a green-white checker. And I don't think it does. Let's take a look.
This would be a natural one.
I think this is a natural green flag here, yeah. So after this, we will still have 3 green-white checker restart attempts available to us before the race is called.
That was Jerry Jordan taking the lucky dog.
Yeah, this could be interesting here. Wonder how these guys will take this restart now. Of course, a reminder, $100 on the line for the race winner. Second place only gets 25, third gets 15, and fourth gets 10. Courtesy of Dave, as well as Kicking the Tires media outlet. So thank you to you guys for supporting the purse, getting drivers in through the door. And of course, those drivers' entry fees for those who paid, all going towards Alexander Nedd, over $100 raised just through entry fees tonight, which is great to see as well. Again, we're wishing you all the best, Alex, and can't wait to have you back up here in the booth with us. Wishing him a speedy recovery. And of course, we miss him. We know he'd be loving this race just as much as we have been here tonight. But 3 to go. We're going to tick over to 2 to go. And it's not a green-white checker attempt, but we're through the Geico restart zone. Back to green flag racing. Scott Crump leads the field down into turn number 1. Alex Van de Sant on the inside lane, pushing the 90 along. Matthew Weeks leading that outside line.
I can't remember who I picked. I think I picked Trevor Elam. He's way back there now.
Yeah, Trevor Elam unfortunately ran into just some issues. He's back on the racetrack, still on the lead lap here, but certainly some ways back as Crump now continues to lead, but that blinking issue continues to plague him. We'll see, however, if it continues to do, or if it does any damage to his hopes here, or to the hopes of anybody here on this inside line. But Alexander Van de Sant, I think, has the philosophy is I'm just going to keep pushing. If that 90 car disappears, I'm going to take a kind of the Brandon Key book and just keep pushing. No, he's going to go to the outside, try to get by Scott Crump, and they've got momentum on the top side. Matthew Weeks goes around for spinning, but we already got the white flag, and around goes Van de Sant. So we're going to stay racing here. They're going to keep driving it through, but it's Scott Crump and Joshua Personette now with the breakaway. Just 4 cars breaking away from that incident in turn number 1. No caution's going to come out. It's all between these 4 now. Crump, Personette, Hossack, Campbell, the only ones in contention. Michael Hossack to the outside. Crump is just a sitting duck here at this point. He's got no draft. He's got nobody pushing. He's going to defend to the outside. But Michael Hossack, how about this? Could the 24 car pull it off around the outside here through 3 and 4? Joshua Personette's going to look to the high side. He's got support from a friend, from a teammate, Gerald Campbell. Could Gerald be looking for a shot? 3 wide off of turn number 4 into the tri-oval. Scott Crump goes to the infield. He spins out. It's going to be Joshua Personette who wins at the line.
I thought Crump was taking a shortcut for a second there.
Wow, what a finish there. I mean, the majority of the field taken out there with 1 to go, and you've got this 4-way fight for it, and that's all it takes. You need just a friend there out on the racetrack, whether Gerald Campbell meant to be helping Joshua Personette. There you see the hit. Scott Crump goes to the inside. That means he's done. He's out of this race. He could not win that across the start-finish line. And so Joshua Personette then dives in front of Michael Hossack to take it.
He did still get third, so is that just an iRacing thing that it won't let you take the win?
I don't know. It was very close there. I don't even know if he crossed the line third and he just got credited with third, or if he crossed the line first and iRacing told him off for it. So that's actually an interesting one that I'm not too sure how that plays out with the tri-oval being kind of that open. But congratulations again, Joshua Personette, on that victory. One of a fantastic plate racer as well, as he dives to pit road. Or excuse me, that doesn't dive to pit road there. He's on the racetrack right now. And of course doing his celebrations. And there's that 31 car, the car that pushed him to victory. Gerald Campbell celebrating with that 38 car. Great to see, hopefully, the start of a positive week here for Joshua Personette. Moved more to a part-time role in terms of driving. Haven't had the fortune of seeing too much of him on the racetrack, which is unfortunate because he is a very talented race car driver, especially when you get to tracks like Daytona and Talladega. And there he is, going to burn it down along the wall here. And a celebration there. It's been a little while since we've seen a Joshua Personette victory, and it's been a very welcome addition back to victory lane there.
I think it's going to be Gerald Campbell in third place. Gerald.
Yeah,
He's in the waiting room.
Let's take a look, actually. He is in the waiting room. Well, we can pull him in here. Let's take a look and see here, as we're joined by maybe third place finisher Gerald Campbell. Not too sure how that's going to work with Crump crossing the grass there, but we'll bring you in either way. Gerald pushing Joshua Personette to the victory. Talk us through the race tonight. Obviously, I guess a little bit of a dress rehearsal for the Xfinity race on Monday, but also just a fun way to spend a Friday night, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's what this is about. I'm fourth. I'm not gonna contest that. I mean, that's
Then what are
we're
you doing in
fine.
here?
Well, just they
Look at
said
you.
top fourth.
He did still earn money, to be fair. He did still earn
Yeah, that's
cash.
true.
He got
I
$10.
did. Yeah, it still made some profit here. Plus, I don't get to talk to you as much, Rich. But yeah, no, it's a great day. Had damage, so if I was ever going to be the one that was out front, I was just not going to go after getting caught up in that wreck in the middle of the race. So I'm good friends with Personette there, and he messaged me right before that last restart. Hey, you gonna push me? And I said, yeah, I'll be right on your back bumper. And yeah, I mean, that worked out perfectly for him and I because it cleared up above us, it cleared up in front of us a little bit, and then the two leaders started going side by side. And Personette, to his credit, did everything right there. And he went up to the high side, and could I have fought for the win? I could have. Was I going to get it? No. And was I going to take it away from a good friend of mine? No. I was gonna push him there at the end. So you don't get those chances too often in iRacing where actually being friends with somebody actually pays off. So I wanted to let Personette bask in the glory tonight, and he definitely deserved it. He did it the right way, and he made a very very committed move 3 wide, and I was just gonna push him all the way to the front if I could. So yeah, other than that, great night. I'm glad that there was a good turnout for this, and I always like participating in a charity event. If I wasn't gonna be, if you weren't up there, Rish, I was pretty sure I was gonna be the next person broadcasting, but I don't know if that's good for the fans or not. Maybe they're happy with you being up there than it would be for me.
Fair enough. Hopefully you had fun there, though, back behind the wheel.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing a partial schedule, doing a lot more broadcasting. Enjoy it, talking to everyone and getting to deal with David up there. Always great having David up there in the booth. I'm sure he made your life a lot easier, like he does mine. But can't wait.
Absolutely.
This Sunday, we're back truck racing. It's gonna be me, David, and we've got another edition there. We're gonna have 3 booth guys this season. David's gonna do a little bit more talking than he does normally, and I look forward to it because David always has a lot more opinion than he shows on these normal races. So I can't wait to get David out of his comfort zone and have someone to talk to, and maybe the fans will enjoy another voice. But yeah, can't wait for it this Sunday. Tune in. If you're not going to be a part of the racing, at least tune in. That truck season last year was some of the best racing that we've seen here at Elite, and I cannot wait for Daytona, where the racing gets good and the good gets racing.
All right, Gerald Campbell there with the great promotion of the Sunday Night Cups, or excuse me, Truck Series. Yeah, man, congratulations on the 4th place, of course, pushing a buddy up to the win, and best of luck in the coming week, both within the broadcast booth and out on the racetrack.
Yeah, see you guys.
It's a shame he's such an introvert,
Oh, man. I love Gerald. It's always a pleasure to talk to him. But we'll bring in our race winner here tonight, Joshua Personette, and it's been a little while in the Elite Racing League, but Josh, man, definitely a popular win, and I was already looking in some of the driver chats, and very popular win there, man. We always love to see you back on podiums, and of course back in victory lane. Talk us through tonight. Looked like you had a strong car basically all night, was running up front, and kind of the chaos ensued on the penultimate lap, and got that push from Gerald, but looked like you were in position to have a strong night either way.
Oh man, what a wild night it was. I mean, anywhere from that lap 5 wreck to the final lap, it was just chaos the entire night. I mean, we had like 12 or 15 laps where everybody was riding, trying to save gas there. But other than that, everybody was just jockeying for position all night long.
Yeah, did you happen to have a good view of the Zach Evans spin there? Get underneath him or anything?
Honestly, I don't remember, to be honest with you.
It could have gone right over your head, honestly. It could have gone. It went over just about everybody's head. So
I love that. But talk us through, I guess, what are the plans for this racing season? I know it's been a little bit on and off for you in terms of full-time commitment, especially in Cup, but would love to hear. Obviously, hopefully getting some races in here this week during speed weeks.
I'm gonna try Sunday for sure, but other than that, because of my work schedule, I'm basically can race every series every other week. So every other week you'll see me once in a while. Probably won't get into too many cup races because of how deep the field is and how talented it is, but I'll throw my hat in trucks and Xfinity a couple times and we'll see what happens.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, this is again an awesome victory there for you. It's again when you think of Daytona, you're certainly one of those names that always pops up as one of those guys who really excels at tracks like this. And great to see you picking up another win here during this event. You do also walk away tonight with $100, so congratulations on that from the prize pool. So certainly just I think probably a pretty successful Friday night as a whole.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna take the $100. I'm gonna donate it back to Alex. Obviously, my thoughts and prayers are with Alex and his family. I know it's just a little bit of money, but any cent that we can get for him will help him in the long run.
That's awesome to hear there. Thank you so much, man. That's I'm sure it means so much to Alex, and we do hope that we've seen some activity from Alex on Twitter and things like that, and hope that he gets the chance to watch back this broadcast and enjoy some of the racing that we'll have this season. But congratulations, Josh Personette, a race winner here at Daytona and kicking off Speed Weeks the right way.
Thank you guys.
All right, then race winner of the Alex Nedd fundraiser event, Joshua Personette. Great drive by him, honestly, and obviously a great action by him, saying that he's going to be donating that money right back to Alex Nedd, and that's fantastic. And once again, for everybody watching at home, that GoFundMe will continue to stay up there. Every dollar really does help Alex, his friends, and his family to make it through this. They are so close to hitting that goal, and you can be a part of that journey. So. Yeah, obviously we wish Alex the best and the speediest of recoveries. Miss having him up here in the booth. I'm sure he would have added a level of energy that Dave and I aren't quite able to bring, but we do our best. And yeah, we miss you, buddy. We cannot wait to get a chance to speak with you again. So all our thoughts are out there with Alex, but we put on a great show, I think, for him tonight, and so hopefully something he'd be proud of.
I kind of like having his image on the screen. We may figure out a way we can just incorporate that and keep him there with us for the Cup races. I think it brings brings a smile to my face. So
it really does. Yeah, man. I love to see it. It's great. Again, yeah. I mean, Alex now working for NASCAR, only started that job I think about a year and a half ago, and I knew him before he started working at NASCAR, and to see him go through getting that job, and that he loves this. He loves every second of the broadcasting, the commentating. When I say he's like the future of broadcasting in NASCAR, I'm not kidding. This guy's extremely talented. So obviously, fingers crossed, and we're all looking forward to speaking with him again and seeing him again. But that's been enough, I think, tonight from Daytona here. It's been a fantastic race, obviously a great fundraiser to continue to raise funds for Alex Nedd. Wishing him the speediest of recoveries and the best fortunes heading forward. But now we head into official league racing, and the next time the Elite Racing Network goes live, is there a Formula One race this week?
There is not, just trucks on Sunday.
Okay. All right, so we'll be kicking off trucks, and that'll be Dave, Gerald, and someone else apparently in the booth with you guys.
It's top secret. We can't say.
Top secret. All right, I'll have to tune in and see who that is then, and everybody watching at home should as well, because the racing is just getting started here on the Elite Racing Network. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. Because that's where you're going to get all the updates of not just the official races, but also fundraisers and fun races like we do here tonight. But I've been Rishabh Kosa, joined in the booth by Dave Huckleberry. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting Alexander Nedd. We cannot wait to have him back with us here at the Elite Racing Network. Alex, we're sending you our love. All our thoughts are with you, and best of luck in your recovery. But with that,